I noticed some splashing and what looked like a sinking kayak that was, kind of half submerged.
A kayaker is safe and a Washington ferry crew is being praised after a mid-route rescue. Tonight we'll hear from a witness.
We have a chilly Wednesday morning in store, but we're talking a lot of sunshine and warmer temperatures in the coming days.
It'll be impactful, absolutely, and it will negatively impact firearms owners.
A brand new Washington law will require a permit to buy a gun, and as you might imagine, it is drawing strong reactions from both sides. What they're saying, new tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Tonight we are learning more about the new state budget just signed into law and what it means for you. Late today, Governor Ferguson signed the new budget, which includes tax increases and cuts to state services. The price of gas is going up too. The state of Washington is facing a $16 billion deficit over the next 4 years. Along with new taxes, there are cuts to state services like the closure of a women's prison and delays in child care subsidies. And gas will be going up by 6 cents a gallon starting on July 1st. Taxes will be increasing for business owners and the state's top investment earners. Today, the governor is saying he knows Washingtonians will be impacted.
I hear those concerns. I hear it loud and clear. We did our best in this budget to balance our approach and also try to take an approach that sets us up for the future.
The governor said his vetoes on previous versions of the budget trimmed about $25 million from what was an almost $80 billion package. Governor Ferguson also signed a new bill into law today that will require Washingtonians to have a permit to buy a firearm. In an effort to bring you more to every story tonight, KREM 2's Connor McAvoy talked with a gun store owner to get their reaction to the new law.
Ready? Aim. It's a practice Jeremy Ball takes seriously. He's the owner of Sharpshooting Indoor Range and Gun Shop in Spokane.
Help people purchase firearms and train with firearms, and then also give them a place to recreationally shoot.
But Ball worries how many people will take up the same practice after Governor Bob Ferguson signed House Bill 1163 into law. Starting in 2027, Washingtonians interested in purchasing a firearm will be required to apply for a 5-year permit with Washington State Patrol. Under the law, the training needed to buy a gun will expand, and that training will include live fire training. Washington State Representative Liz Berry sponsored the bill, saying it'll help decrease statewide gun violence.
I know this bill, simply put, will save lives, and we couldn't have done it without all of the advocates.
It's work Representative Berry supports, but Ball worries what could happen when it takes effect.
It'll be impactful, absolutely, and it will negatively impact firearms owners.
The law requires 50 rounds of live fire training. Ball says for some, that isn't practical.
Just making the assumption that it requires 50 rounds of standard firearms usage, that is going to reduce the amount of places that people will be able to even complete these classes.
Ball's opinion is shared. The president of the Spokane Gun Club, Tom Nyewell, says the series of events the law requires are out of order.
I don't have a problem with people having to show that they can shoot. However, they need to have a way that if they want to buy a gun, that they can buy it, take the class, and then show that they can shoot.
As we're 2 years out from the law going into place, Ball hopes a different solution can be made.
All it's going to do is just add multiple redundant processes that the state has in order to obtain the gun.
We reached out to Washington State Patrol for comment on the new law. A member says they'll get back to us soon with a response. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
It is election night in North Idaho, and Kootenai County just dropped its first batch of election results just hours ago. Here is a first look at the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department bond, which would give $16.4 million to the department over the next 10 years. That money would go toward replacing an aging fire truck fleet, equipment upgrades, and remodeling or rebuilding 3 stations. As you can see, the early returns show that bond is passing at the moment 74 to 25. Meantime, let's take a look at an $11 million levy proposed by the Post Falls School District. If passed, it would increase teacher and staff salaries beyond the state's salary scale. Right now, the levy is passing 68 to 31%. You can find all the other results on the Kootenai County Elections Department website tonight. All right, taking a break from the headlines, let's take a first peek at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagoud. Jeremy, kind of a mixed bag again today. Warmer weather is on the horizon, but When does it arrive?
Oh, next couple of days, it's a slow, steady increase with a little bit of a hiccup in there. That's how we'll describe it. Temperatures on the moderate side. We're still around 50 degrees, which isn't too bad. Notice a little bit of activity earlier today. A couple rumbles of thunder, and those are done. Seriously, it's just a little band of light showers moving through northern Washington, really northeast Washington, and far north Idaho. Couple of light showers moving through. That's it. These things aren't doing much more than giving you a couple of raindrops. And tomorrow, we wake up to clear skies. We'll see a couple clouds during the day, but those will be fair weather cumulus and not as prevalent as they have been. However, Thursday is a different story. We'll see our first band of moisture move in the morning, another possible round later in the day, and then as that moves out, Friday becomes interesting. I think we wind up seeing increasing sunshine, but also a couple of mountain showers. But really, it's more about the increasing sunshine than anything else. That's going to get us up to 67 tomorrow, sunny and 63 before that chance of rain returns on Thursday.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Now it's time for our Night Beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. New tonight, a U.S. Air Force veteran from Washington detained in Venezuela since November has finally been released. Joseph St. Clair served 4 tours in Afghanistan as a language specialist. His parents say he traveled to Venezuela to seek treatment for PTSD. Following July's election there, he was one of several Americans detained over an alleged anti-government plot. In a statement today, Washington Senator Maria Cantwell said, quote, "I am thrilled Joe has been released and will be reunited with his family. His parents were relentless advocates for their son. I thank the Trump administration for working to secure his release," unquote. St. Clair and his family live in North Kitsap County. It is unclear when he'll be back home. Idaho Fish and Game has now cited a Kootenai County resident who the agency says mistakenly shot and killed a grizzly bear. He could face a maximum fine of $10,000, have his hunting license pulled for up to 3 years, and could spend up to 6 months in jail. The young female bear was killed about 2 weeks ago near Priest Lake. The hunter told Fish and Game he thought it was a black bear. Construction season underway in the inland Northwest. That means more detours and added time to your commute. This year, the city of Spokane is focusing on school safety. Crews are putting in sidewalks, curb extensions, and a new crosswalk on Hartson Avenue and Rebecca Street. That's right by Francis Scott Elementary School. The other is happening at Stevens Elementary School, adding similar safety features to the surrounding area. Both projects are expected to wrap up in June and July. And that's it for your Night Beat. For more information on any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. Well, some good news for Gonzaga fans tonight. Former Gonzaga superstar Chet Holmgren dropped 15 points, 3 assists, and 7 rebounds in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. Chet helped boost the team to a 114-88 victory at home over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 2 will be back in OKC on Thursday night. All right, don't go to bed yet. A dramatic increase in residential housing permits in Spokane this year. The new move aimed at addressing Spokane's housing crisis. But first, the price to visit Washington State parks is about to go up. Find out how much more you'll need to pay before your next hike. We are back in 90 seconds.